you're joining us on this special interview on NewsX. We are joined today by actor Arunoday Singh, who's of course all set to um, appear and appear in a very menacing avatar, might I add, in of course the new Hotstar Jio Hotstar series Canada. जी हाँ अरुणोदय जुड़ गए हमारे संग बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका वेलकम थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग विद अस
Thank you, Uday. I'm going to be not menacing today. Today I feel like not being menacing. I'm always menacing. It's a bit tiresome.
yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for not being menacing today on our interview. But it's of course a very interesting series. We've seen the trailer and the teaser already.
Yeah.
Let me start out by asking you what appealed to you about this character. Of course, I'm sure the menacing avatar was one of the reasons. But
That's
what
actually
else appealed
not.
to you about this project?
That's actually not. I try and avoid because I usually end up doing the same menacing sort of dude. It's as an actor, it gets a little boring. I really liked. I really liked the story. I really liked how everyone was struggling against forces that were bigger than them, trying to get an identity, trying to fit into a place that's not their own, trying to find, these are universal things that I really liked about the story. And yeah, that's usually like I get interested in a story, I get interested in the characters, and that usually goes a long way for me being interested in playing something in that project. So yeah, that's how it works. It's not necessarily the menacing thing. I just liked the character. He was interesting.
Yes. Just talking now, of course, about about the premise as well.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, and I think we've not got everything as yet. Obviously, the trailer has given us a sneak peek, the teaser has given us a sneak peek, but I'm sure
Right.
there's much more, of course, to it. Was there also something that appealed to you about the different aspects being looked at in the series, and obviously the different layers of the character as well that has been written for all of you?
I mean, yes, that's exactly. I mean, part of my first answer was that it's a deeper story than the average, the deeper characters than the average,
Mhm.
and it's nice to. It's not very often, sadly, that you get ensembles where everyone's got um, proper vibrant characters. I mean, a lot of times you say they do, but they really don't. So it was really nice to be a part of something so fleshed out and so something that breathed. You know what I mean? It wasn't dead on the page. So yeah.
Okay. Also now talking, of course, about your own experiences, because you
Yeah.
have also been abroad, you've lived abroad. I think you've studied abroad, if I'm not
Yeah, yeah, I
mistaken.
lived abroad for like 10 years.
Yes. Is that also something you used to bring into your role as well? Your own observations of the Indian diaspora, the trials and tribulations they face there, possibly,
Yeah.
experiences that you might have had as well.
Yeah, I mean, any honest actor uses everything they've ever been through to either directly or to imagine at with a little extrapolation what that would be like. I mean, I don't know the kind of actor that wouldn't use their own experiences, and if it directly ties in, that just makes it so much easier for the actor. So yeah, any experience that I can have, anything that I've been through in all my time abroad, if it applied or if it even was at a stretch or something that I'd heard about firsthand, these are all things that go into try and fleshing out the kind of character, the kind of person that you are playing. So
Okay.
it
Have
definitely,
you also experienced racism at all abroad? Is that
yeah.
something you personally experienced?
I mean, not as much as people would think, because I'm kind of ethnically ambiguous, but I am ethnically ambiguous and not Caucasian. So sometimes it will be an interesting thing abroad, but not really. I'm not somebody that has had. I couldn't claim that major racism has been directed my way, other than the petty stuff. And the petty stuff everyone deals with on a regular basis. So yeah.
Okay. Well, of course, yes. The lead character is facing much more, as we can see. For you, how is this experience on OTT been? Are you enjoying the fact that more content is now coming on OTT platforms? Do you enjoy web series? Where, of course, as you said earlier, your character is very well fleshed out in this series,
Yeah.
but that's something we're seeing in other series as well,
Yeah.
because the long format does allow characters to be much more defined than say they would be in a 2 hour film.
Right. I mean, it's only lazy writers that think that they need more time to develop. A film can have wonderfully fleshed out characters. It just doesn't balance out entirely. But yeah, I mean, asking me about OTT, like I haven't been here. Like I've been in OTT since like the jump. It's a lovely feeling to have work of a kind of caliber that you didn't always get when it was limited to just movies, because there's just so many more projects and parts where you can hope to find, gainful employment. Otherwise, for movies, we were all just biting and scratching for the very few parts that would get left for us. And the writers obviously get a lot more opportunity to tell different stories and write deeper things. So I love balancing. I like doing theater. I like doing movies. I like doing OTT. I get a good part. I'm there. I'm not an actor that worries about the medium so much as
Mhm.
the story.
Yes. As you just added theater as well, so I have to ask you: is that something you also enjoy doing? Do
Oh,
you
very
try
much.
and keep doing plays when you can?
Yeah, yeah, very much, very much, very, very, very much. Theater is there's more soul food for an actor in theater than in any camera format. Um, Theater is an actor's playground.
Yes.
Film and OTT are director and editor playgrounds. We're all just
Yes.
movable
That's what
parts.
many.
Yeah.
True. That's what many veterans have said. Of course,
Yeah,
that
you
theater
get
is,
better at acting for camera.
is the best medium for an
Yeah.
actor to.
You get
Yes.
better
Please go
for
ahead.
acting for camera in front of the camera, but you don't necessarily become a better actor. But there's a higher chance of you becoming a
Mhm.
better actor the more theater you do, because
Right.
the
Okay.
stage is not
Okay.
forgiving. Yeah.
Okay. Well, just talking to you now, of course, about your career, your filmography so far.
Yeah.
To draw a parallel, the IPL is coming up, and after every match in the IPL, there's an award given, which is the game changer of the match.
Okay.
The player that changed the game for his or her team.
Okay.
For you, which do you believe have been those one or two projects so far, which have been those game changers for your career when you look back now?
Oh, I mean, they've all been stepping stones, really. But I think I did a web series called Aparan that certainly got people
Yes.
to take a lot more notice of me as somebody that can, anchor a story rather than just being a bit part in it. So I will always be very grateful to Siddharth Sengupta and that show. I'm hoping Kaneda is one of them. It was a really fun thing to be a part of, really lovely cast. And it was just, it's rare that everything comes together in a way that makes you hopeful. And this was definitely one of those. But otherwise, there's been a lot. I mean, I've been at it for about 14 years now. There's been a fair amount. Everyone I'm grateful for because it means I'll get one more bit of employment. So yeah, it'd be weird to single them all out.
Yes, but interesting that both the projects that you named
Yeah.
are both on the OTT space. Coincidence, or is that something that you believe
I can
OTT
name
has been
movies,
generally
but
good for
these
you in
were
your
just the
career?
ones that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like not a doubt. Not a doubt. It changed the trajectory of my career.
Okay,
Definitely.
and we hope that's something that will of course continue happening for you. All right, for now, of course, it's Canada, as you
Yeah.
said, which we hope everyone will watch this March. The big OTT release, of course, on Geo Hotstar. But what's next in the pipeline, Arunada? If you can tell us, what are you working on? What's something that we can see you next in?
The Canada, my man. Other than that, everything is in the wraps, or God knows when or how it'll be made. So I don't jinx things until they're ready to be presented.
Okay, so watch this space for more is what you're clearly saying. Fair enough. Thank you very much, Arunada, for joining us today on
Just,
News.
just look out for me. I'll be popping up every now and then.
Yes, as I said, watch this space for more is what you're clearly saying because there is stuff in the pipeline, but not something that you can officially tell us today. Fair enough. Thank you very much for the time being. All the very best for Canada, and thank you for joining us.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.